today mall opened, and I don't know whether you have friend or even yourself now sitting at the mall and watching your phone and attending this webinar is very possible. And that opening kind of give business people a uneasy or a maybe antsy feelings, because if someone is open, so naturally as a small business owners, you're thinking of opening. So let's just dive into those key points that I want to cover today, and I will share screen. So this PowerPoint is really for me. It is for me because it want to remind me the key points that I want to talk to you. And I apologize in advance for any Chinglish spellings because I do that myself with input from my staff. It's not like we had some professional editors sitting here to edit our slides, but the content is guaranteed to be useful. And I want to introduce myself. And even if you know me for a million years, which I didn't live for a million years yet, but I still want to say that I am very proud to be on the National Taxpayer Advocacy Panel, because that is a voice for taxpayer to provide advices to IRS. So I am with my track record and with community CPA's good performance, and we are being selected. We're being reviewed and decided to serve on that board. So you can definitely send information to us, and we will channel that over to Taxpayer Advocacy Panel and to ask IRS consider changing certain operations. And I also recently authored this book called Appointment with Ying at 8 a.m. And it is a book about starting up a business. If you felt like right now the business you have may not fit COVID-19 special environment, maybe you should read this book to know how to start a new one. The reality, and I love to have a reality check from time to time, because we can be so subjective in our own mind, thinking this going to happen, that is going to happen. No, the reality is COVID-19 is here to stay. Longer than 2 months, a lot of governmental assistance program, a lot of what they say, it is about a short time period abruption, but that's not true. It is here to stay. It is here. I used to say 18 months. Now I just added that for another 6 months. I think it's 2 years. And again, this whole webinar is my and our community CPA staff's opinion, and just understand it's not a legal opinions that you can use in the court. But I know sometimes your mind works better than the court. You knew those informations are useful to you. And a reopen is not about going back to the old way doing business anymore. And you may think that, well, reopen, so simple. I turn on the light, I'm right here again. No, reopen is very different. Reopen is about how to do business with COVID-19 as a constant threat to you, your employees, and your customers, and for a very long time. So reopen is not what we were thinking before. Some small businesses will not be there. Some large business already declared bankruptcy. Folks, the world is changing. And you are here today doesn't mean you're here tomorrow. For many, many people means losing their job and becoming part of the number under the ratio for unemployment. So the world is different, tomorrow is different. But some entrepreneurs, and I certainly hope that's you, will not fall into that ratio, and you will not only survive, you also will thrive. And how do you survive? And we talk about survive. It's nothing wrong with in the survival mood. And while we are in the survival mood, we actually most hardworking. We are working our heart out for survival. So a lot of times, and if you ask my husband Steve, he'll tell you that I'm in survival mood today and I'm in thriving mood tomorrow. And it doesn't mean that we are in survival mode all the time, but surviving, that feeling is good for us. So, but I want to talk about survival in a different light, and you need to rely on the government assistance to you to survive. So I did a rough calculation, definitely not a accurate number, but I say that in the general world, business world, small business world, if you have 10 employees, if your average salary is $3,000 a month kind of thing, for 10 employees, small business, and you can survive on the emergency grant. That's the EIDL SBA's loan advance for 10,000, right? And you can survive on PPP. That gives you 2 months worth of salary that you can use. You can survive on your stimulus check. You got that, right? And unemployment claim, you probably claimed that already. But if not, then you have 13 weeks, $600 a week waiting for you when you are unemployed. So you can survive on that. You can survive on the state grants. In Iowa, we have $25,000. Plenty of people, and 5 pages long on our website. You can see the people who got the money. So these are the funds available for your small business to survive. It won't make you rich. It will just patching up on the loss that you already have. Hopefully, it is small enough that you can survive for next few months. Manage this money properly. And when come to the point to get PPP forgiven, work hard on that forgiveness. Otherwise, you return the $75,000 back because that's a loan, right? So survive really doesn't mean and you crawl up on the couch and just cry about it. Survive means that you put on your fight gear and you fight. You're going to fight on your forgiveness and making sure it is forgiven. You're going to spend your money wisely and knowing where to cut corners and cut it. But know that it is a work that you have to do. For a 10 employee small business, you literally can get about 100,000 K from government. Not every country, the government gives this kind of survival money. We're in United States, folks, and I think we should be really feeling very fortunate. The government does give us something, okay? And so with that, and really use it for survivalship. But that's not the end of it. We're not here to talk about how to make you survive. We're here to talk about how to thrive, how to be the next emerging economy, next company that people didn't realize that you were there. Suddenly you are being noticed, like Zoom.com, right? And I just think that, they have put in so much work in the past. Did they get used? Not very little. But with the pandemic, it is a open up stage for them. And of course, you can say they're lucky, but I don't say they're lucky. I say they're ready. So you want to make yourself get to the ready mood. So here, entrepreneurship is not just about being self-employed. It's totally not. Entrepreneurship is about self-motivation, self-discipline. So you're not a couch potatoes feeling sorry for yourself. And because your small business couldn't run, and it got shut down by the government. And no, you need to have self-discipline to say, I'm not allowed to think that way. It is about being responsible for caring of those who are with you during the good time or the bad time. And you are a small business. You have people that relying on you. You have people that seeing you as an employer and you supposed to protect them. So that is the responsible piece of entrepreneur. It comes with responsibility. And it shouldn't come out of your mouth so easily that everyone is gone. it's okay. It's not, because you have built someone's life that way and you want to try to maintain that. Okay. And with that value in you, and you can win this invisible war. And that is literally what I am doing personally. So I want you to feel the fight in you and fight it. Create a vision. This is what I say, that for everything you do, if you don't see it already, you don't get there. So, you know, in long time ago, I was listening to an audio book. This is regarding about language development. So the color blue, it was a word that didn't exist in many tribes in the ancient world. They don't understand the color of blue. But now when we say blue, what are you thinking? You're thinking of blue. But imagine if there's no word for it, and how do you define that? So this is the same as if you don't have a vision for your business, you couldn't really get there. You may accidentally get there in the good time, but in this time, in the pandemic time, in the time when business fails left and right, in front of you, behind you, this is where you need to have a vision for your own business. If you could not see the future of your existing business that you have today, that probably means that your business is not going to survive, because that really means that there is no visible future, and then you cannot really carry it on. So you either get out of the business or you shrink your business. You know what? Right now, it is a really good time for you to shrink or to get out, because the consequences is very small. And you can shrink your workforce from 100 people to 2, and the 98 people that went on unemployment would not change your rate. And you are still a good employer, pay very little rate. So I am talking about at this time, when you shrink, there's no penalty. Then, and there's also people claim bankruptcy. You know what? Bankruptcy gonna be a rainfall. It is just gonna come. So you are joining the million others file bankruptcy. It's really okay. And people will mark that time. Oh, I bankrupted when there's a pandemic. There's not a lot of blame on you being an entrepreneur, not able to hold your business. People understand. So your social pressure is not there. It's not because you don't spend money properly. It's not because of anything. It's just pandemic. So with that, I say it is a good time to get out. All right. But it's also, it's a good opportunity right now for you to take a new ground to develop new. So once you map out your future and your vision, and once you see that of yourself and with people in it, and you will thrive. This is how I say you thrive. You have a vision. Okay, so I went on to the website to look for what large companies are doing, not us, not our little teeny businesses, and we don't really care about the strategic planning, a visionary talk, and that is so, you know, big company like. But big company tells us they become a big company because they're doing something good. If they're the one doing something right now we don't understand, it's okay. We don't have to do it, but we want to know what they are doing. So this is what they're doing. They are creating a reopen map. That means that they are mapping out their people, they're mapping out their space, they're creating a reopening. And they're providing customer with safe guarantees that restore trust. What does that mean? That means they're doing something for customer to know that they're safe. They don't carry COVID-19, and their delivery is reasonable. They're doing something to restore that trust in you, so you can relax and not thinking about, oh no, I can't do that. I can't go there. I can't buy anything from them because they are this way. They are safeguarding the health of their employees. Look at that. So the large company cares to make sure their employees are safe. And when I say that, I am excluding the meat plant, the meat factories. I am excluding them. They are special, and I don't even consider they're included in my large companies on this slide, and I don't want to even go there. But most of the large companies, they care about their employees. They're figuring out a safe way to do business. Reviving demand. That means they're doing something with their customer to make customer wanting them more. Maybe it is doing something a little different. The customer goes, oh yeah, I need that. So they're trying to get the demand to come up. Rebooting operation and supply chain. This is for the large company. Maybe with all these anti-Chinese government and their supply chain got cut off over there, or they have to be political correct, so they need to cut whatever off. And so they have to reboot the operation and reevaluate the supply chains in order to continue to work. Look at what they're doing. And they're shifting IT technology to restart their company. So everybody is using touchless solutions for serving customer with IT. So IT is the only way right now human knows to produce touchless options. All right. And steering this restart with care. Nobody restart fully in one day. Look at the mall. They shrink their hours. That's their way for caring, which I don't understand. Because if you shrink the mall hours into a very short time, don't you expect more people come in and the social distance will be disappearing? So I don't understand that care, but it is their way to restart with care. I may be just limited in my own knowledge, but that's what they're doing. And investing in recovery. What does that mean? Investing means spending money. Spending money in recovery, spending money in rebuilding the space, spending money in buying more things. So I was just talking to a business with a vending machine. So what happened is they are the one placing the vending machine around the highway, so you can buy a cup of coffee or a bag of chips. And so what they're investing. So in the discussion of the business, and we, of course it's coming from Ying. I am so good with business. So I said to them that investing machines or investing something to put the alcohol wipes or disinfecting wipes or cleaning solutions on the side. So when they get money into the machine, they can use that cleaning wipe to clean their hand to receive the food, okay? So simple things, but that is money. That is reinvesting. So this is a large company, they're doing it. Small company, we take a mini version of it. So this is my link from McKinsey.com, and you can go read more details. Trust me, when you read what large companies are doing, as a small business, we extrapolate things out of their language and making it ours in the small mini version. And this is what we called us having vision. Our vision is coming from collective knowledge that we gather. So now let's study. And a general thought for small businesses here, I want to tell you that why small business was successful historically. You know how you hear people say, well, small business is the backbone of the economy, and they are the one that build the fabrics of the community. They're important. And why do they say that? It's because historically, small business can survive and existed. It's because number one, we provide much more closer personal touch with the customer in our area. And they know us. Not only they see us in the office, in the retail store, they also see us walking with our dog and the kids and riding bicycles in the community. Okay, so we're part of the community and we have this personal touch. Maybe to be more specific, when you see them, you actually hug them. I know to not make your spouse jealous and don't kiss them, but you hug them. Okay, you shake their hand, you got closer. So those are the things we call the personal touch, and it is at the personal level that customer service is that real. It is that connected. It is so it is so contagious. If you have COVID-19, you're just gonna gift it to me if you do that. All right. So, but that's one of the historical reasons we're successful. Then low price. Oh yes, of course we're low price. We're lower than Walmart. We're lower than a lot of people, right? And so that is some of the small businesses' success because their price is low. Sure, they're willing to sacrifice their profit margin. They will provide low price. And their product is unique. Oh yeah, I cook this special food. You can't find it anywhere. That sauce I use was coming from my grandparents, okay? So I know you have special skills, and that's why I go to you. I know you love me, so I go to you. I know your price is also reasonable, so I go to you, okay? And you're convenient. You're next door to me, so that's why you are successful. Look, so these are the things making us successful in the past. But what happened today, taking a lot of that away, And you know what? It making us feel like we have to be like a large company. We have to be sort of, we are small, but we need to act like a large ones. So personal touch, forget it. We need to be having distance. So it's better I don't know you, so I can just talk to you on the phone and see you on video. It is better I have to raise my price because I don't have that volume anymore. Are you kidding? Nobody come to eat, and I only got 2 customers today, and you want my price to be the same low price? I can't even prepare my food the same way anymore, right? So personal touch is gone. Low price is killed by the quantity of product we can sell. And unique product, well, it might be so unique, it's not clean. And for example, I can think of an example right away. There is a kind of food, I don't see that in Iowa, but in Toronto, where I live, and there's a kind of food called hand grab pie. Like you use your hand to grab the pie, then they come up kind of loose, then it's so delicious. I go to that restaurant, I eat that all the time, and I make sure I use my hand to grab it and put it in my mouth. All right, so you think that's gonna still work? And in this COVID-19 time, I think we need to change that product name. It's not called a hand grab, we're gonna call it catch on with fork. Okay, something different. And what about Kenora beer? The beer, the drink. What about that? And unique products, so unique, a lot of people like it. And really, does that give you a clean feeling to drink that virus in the bottle? No, right? So location might be the same location, but suddenly is not good. You know why it is not good? Because, I have this little shop in the neighborhood and in the strip mall, and people cannot drive through. And even if they order something on the curbside, is literally I have to leave it on the curb because they can't come around. They have to get out of the car, get the things. So it's not convenient. So the same good location that used to be good because it's next to the dental office. So I have this beauty salon, people who cares about their teeth, they come to my place too. So, but suddenly that is not the same anymore. All right. So with that tells you that it reshaped everything you have today. And maybe you had a bad location. You were about to close your business because nobody comes. But with COVID-19, you realize that in the back alley of your building, it is a perfect drive-through. Oh boy, I can cook something and I can do something, and I will just open a small window, then it's drive-through. So it gives you a different view of how you're gonna do business. And so I say that with a historical understanding of how small business survive, now folks, let's rethink how we can survive with still in the same location, still with the same unique product, and maybe rename it, Maybe we do something so we can survive and we can thrive, all right? And we can reopen. Now, I'm going through each industry, give you the collective wisdom from community CPA, from Ying, and I hope that you take it and find a light bulb went on in your mind. And I don't need you to tell me that did for you. I just need you to do it because I want to see you successful. You know what? I have a selfish motive. You think you come to my webinar and learn something really useful and you did a good business going forward. You think you will not come to Community CPA to do your accounting service with us? You think you will not come to be our client? No, I know you will. I know you will be our client and you will be appreciative for that moment when the light bulb went on. So for the ideas for restaurant, let me say this to you. When you reopen, you do need to set up protocols to make sure the employees are safe, they're healthy. And that almost need to be known to your customer. How do you make that known to your customer? There's a way to do it. And I say that it doesn't matter how good of a job you do, it need to be known, it need to be visible. And not only your customer can see it and feel it, especially your employee need to know that's in place. Because that's how they can come to work in the kitchen, knowing that the helper next to them doesn't have a COVID-19. It's safe. So develop that. And I am not expert in the medical field. I really don't even know what this virus is all about. But I say to you that the safeguarding the health of your employee is important. Then I expect you to look for solutions. And after PPP, the Paycheck Prevention Program is done, and you need to relook at your workforce. I'm talking about after that is done. The reason I say after is because PPP is really for you to do your business the old way. Because they use the historical data, said that, oh, you're gonna do this, you're gonna do that, you're gonna pay this, you pay that. It's an old method for your business. We're talking about new way of doing business, maybe new product, maybe new way to hire people. So you may not really utilize your old employees the same way. They can be a great help for the new invention you have and for the new method you're doing business. But keep in mind, you want to plan your employee for next 2 years. And I would strongly recommend you to hire full-time, not part-time. The reason I say that, because we're talking about the health of the employee. If you have too many part-time, it just makes it very labor intensive to make sure they are safe for your customer. But if you have a full-time employee, then you can do it a lot better. They have a lot more time to, God knows where they work for the other part-time job. Maybe they will catch COVID-19 over there. So you want your employee to be from your place to home. So that way, give the maximum assurance for your customer. So I say that to build a strong full-time team, take this time to thin the workforce, to reduce the workforce, and eliminating part-time employees if all possible. Okay, so this is a reopening strategy for many, many restaurants, big or small. So I want to bring that idea to you so you can think about it. Maybe using your family members, however you are doing it. Inventory. Get rid of the old inventory, okay? And we talked about this even before. In my early April, I did a pausing for COVID-19, what you do at home, at your business. I said that to write down your business, get rid of your business, and you want it new, okay? And the selling business, selling the inventory. Sometimes the inventory is old, but it is in the package that is still usable, still sellable. You don't cook anymore. You don't cook this dish anymore. I would say that you find ways to sell them. If you don't do liquor anymore because your bar couldn't exist, all right, you should sell your bottles, all your wine bottles, right? So it's really based on your inventory use of your reopening. Examine your inventory resources, make determination on how to save more money on purchase, and make internal control complete so you don't lose inventory. And when I say that, what I have in mind is some of the inventory, you have it today, you may have it, you may not have it tomorrow. In this unstable period, pandemic is ramping throughout the globe. It's not just here in Iowa or in Minnesota. It is in the whole, it's the earth that's suffering of the virus. And you don't know what is not going to come. Maybe your rice not going to come. Maybe your key inventory is not going to be there for you. And you are the best decision maker to know how to keep that resources available for yourself, how to control the price of it, okay? And with the direction changes in your operation, and you will know that certain inventory you can't live without, or some of them can be replaced. So that is your challenge. Investing in recovery in this case is to invest in the restaurant setting, really to invest in the disinfecting wipe instead of the paper product. And maybe your customer wanted something else, and just a clean, thin paper towels is not going to work. And so this is what you want to think for the restaurant. The next page is still for the restaurant and the service update. Take a look at your menu and identify the one that you don't sell. Make your menu as simple as possible because your supply is going to have issue. Okay, and update your menu to reflect the new product, new price. And when I say that, what I have in mind is that you don't produce those expensive big plastic cover menu. They are too dirty for COVID-19 environment, okay? You're producing something you can print every day. Better yet, online. Online menu to avoid handing over paper menu to customer, and consider to expand on delivery. And the next two bullet point on my slides is something that we are so excited to tell you, because you need to know that these are ideas. They are not just the ideas going to stay in my head, and it is going to manifest into a way of practicing, the way of restaurant operation, okay? Creating luxury drive-through pickup and aiming to create compassion gifting demand. Every time we talk about gifting, we think of chocolate from chocolatery stamp. We think of things from Harry and Davis and those packaged pretty packaging. And we're not thinking about hot food. We're not thinking about a warm soup. But why not? They are such a great gift. And restaurant owners should start seeing themselves to be in that retail space. And the design. If you are a Mexican restaurant, what's wrong with you design? You have this Mexican-made ceramic jar, and you will have a jar of hot soup in there, and people can order that for the elderly at their home. And it's a gift. It's a compassion gift because it's not for them to eat, it is for others to eat. And think really hard as a restaurant owner. I cannot emphasize enough that how big of a market that will be if you are in there. But of course, is you need to create that look of it. It cannot be a white foam plastic cover, and my son cannot even stand that sound of it. And so it's really, it is you making it looking, caring, and compassionate. And consider supply cooking ingredients for the families. They don't have to order cooked food from you, They can order something that need to be heated up, cooked on top of their stove. Because for the customer, it is such a safe feeling because everything will be cooked. So we're not worried about you have virus in there. It is coming home, it goes to be cooked. So that could be another way of expanding your secret menu, and you can bag your secret sauces and making sure that is being heated up as well and heatable as well. So that way client can really feel it's safe. It's safe to have things from you. Restaurant space. Creating a seating map that offers customer the safe feeling and restore trust right there. Don't place me next to the other young couple and too close. We need 6 feet. And reopening requires that. And it's not required by law, of course. There's some, forgive my French, there's some politicians don't care, all right? So you need to care because you have a business to run. You want to make money out of the people who come. You want them to always come. And even if they don't come, they came once, they love you, they will tell other people to come. So sitting map, you need to have that. You need to have a sitting map to know where to place people. So your server knows not to place them too close. If you still have a large space to fill in, you place them far apart. I know it's not efficient for your operation because you want a server to serve 10 people in one run. This time, only serve 1 people in 10 run. That is the way to do business nowadays. And make changes for the next 12 months. Think of this is temporary. COVID-19 not going to be here for the rest of our life. We knew that for sure. But for 24 months, make that change. No need for big renovation, but a small one, a temporary one, that should be good enough. And that need to be done before you reopen. Implement technology, plan for the near future. Start shopping for solutions. Get ready to implementing and a simple DIY, simple do-it-yourself. And we had a seminar, couldn't remember the date, but it's in our archive, and it is the technology, how to use technology to reopen. So you need to listen to that seminar, and we have Derek in our firm. And if you can get a hold of him, he is very busy, but if you can get a hold of him, call him, email him, and say, I want this and that, he can come up with a plan for you, okay? And reboot operation by implementing touchless IT solution. You know who already have that? And you know, you drive through Starbucks, remember before COVID-19, you order and you didn't touch anything and they place your order, you got the coffee. Of course, they have to make the coffee. That's their call. They need to implement employee safety measures so client can be safe. But that's a touchless to order, right? So reopen with visible care. This is what you want that to be visible. And you used to have a paper menu, you got rid of it. People can do ordering on their cell phone, or you have an iPad that they can clean it up and our touch screen over there on the table, they can clean it up with alcohol wipe and they can start ordering. Okay, so all of these. And social media. And before COVID-19, social media is not a thing for me. And I don't care about it. And I especially don't care about some posting, which I consider very personal, but they're on Facebook for everybody to see. And, you know, I call them underwear posting. It's a little too much. But social media can be used properly for business. So you want to use that. More and more people, even me, I don't like social media. And I don't even know how to prevent people from posting underwears. But I go on social media now. I think it's okay to look at the underwear posting. And but I make sure that my posting is being seen by other people. More and more people are open to social media. So use that for your restaurant. And one very good example is the restaurant in Marhay Mall. And did you read that article, local article about Brenda? And she is inside of that mall. Her little restaurant is in the mall talking about COVID-19. How did she open? You ask her. She made it. She posted her story. She talked about her needs, and social media saved her. She still make money. She still do business even now. All right? So use social media. Brenda, I'm really proud of you. And idea for spa and salon. And this is a service that personal touch is a guarantee. You have to have that. It's essential. You can't cut my hair without touching me. So how could you not do that? And they really need to open because, well, I have kid at my home is going to look like a monkey if we don't have those hair salon open. So very important to reopen. Here, for employee, the same thing. You want to make sure your employee are cared and that they come in to work full time. Try to eliminate part-time just because part-time just offer a part-time opportunity to catch virus somewhere else. And or the standard of other places not the same as yours, and then you get in complications with your part-time employees. So making the workforce effective, hiring everyone full-time, and thin out the part-time operation. And investing in recovery, yes, you do have to invest in a lot of that as you are a business that touches people and really have that social distance. It doesn't apply in your workspace. So creating sitting map, again, you don't want two of you cutting hairs of two customers that close. Creating the space and make sitting changes for the next 24 months. You don't have to destroy your plumbing and do things. You can still leave your spa equipment there, but just not placing anybody between next to each other. So give a space, right? And being clean is going to be essential when you reopen. And look clean, and your employee is clean, your customer comes is clean. And one of the good example I will give you and to ride on this thought is a nail salon. You know how you go to nail salons and they use the tools to clean your nails and manicure, pedicure, all of those tools. And if they're not one-time tools, like after they throw it away. If it is not that way, and it is so much better to adopt the kind of practice now I already see, and the people start labeling those toolbox for each customer. So each customer has their own toolbox. So you know what that do to the customer? The customer knows that there's something just for them. They will come to you time after time because they know that if they go to other places, they don't have that toolbox with you. Although they didn't buy that toolbox, you supply to them, but it is designated with their name and with their cell on those tools, that is feeling so safe, right? So those are good practice you need to have for your customer. And the shop, that's another thing. And with the reopening, a lot of cash is going to be going away from you. Even if you receive cash payment in the past, now your customer don't want to handle cash. Your customer want to pay you online. Your customer want to tell you the credit card number. They don't even want to give you the credit card number. Give you the credit card, I mean. Okay? Because that is a personal connection with possibility of virus transfer themselves. And even you, if I am your employee, I am sitting in the front desk and I just start, getting the credit card or cash, I would have to clean my hands all the time, right? Of course, it's okay. That should be in your employees' manual. They have to clean their hand every time they finish one client. All right. But again, try to invest in the merchant service where it's touchless, where you don't have to handle that. And that would be good for your employee and good for your customer. Reorganize your pricing. Remember I said that you don't have that quantity anymore, even for the salon, because you have to space people out, because you don't want to have them waiting in the waiting area. And that is all slowing down your business. You can serve 20 people in one day in the past, now maybe 5 or 10. So with all of that, reconsider your price. Did your customer remember your price? Most likely not. If they do, they would understand why the price went up. Okay? And make sure you work with your subcontractors template. And now you know, through COVID-19, you understand the difference between employees and the subcontractors. You understand it as a small business, and your employees or your subcontractors also understand. It will change how you run the business, because now your subcontractor may be telling you that I want to be your employee. And your employee may be telling you that I like to be your subcontractor. Okay, so you need to follow the guidelines, making sure that you don't invite trouble for yourself, because if you treated your employee as subcontractor, and you can be investigated, you can be penalized, and you will end up paying them whatever you didn't pay them anyway. So protecting yourself from that trap. Okay, do a good template. In our firm, we have attorneys on board, so if you need template on contractual relationship with your subcontractors, and you can literally utilize community CPA. And a great time to look for acquisition and a merger. I say that because if you still want the same quantity, and you would have multiple locations, and still each location doesn't get overwhelmed with people, but you can have that revenue still coming in. So think through that. There's a lot of opportunities out there. Next is the professional service company. Okay, and professional employees are different from employees who are working on works that doesn't involve intellectual thinking, and they're not having specialties with them, so they are general service. But people with specialty, and sometimes when I think of this group of people, I think of the accountants, I think of an insurance agent, I think of the law firm and the lawyers and the people like that. And you want to set a protocol to safeguarding their health, because they are much more conscious of the danger of COVID-19. And by the time they rise into a certain social level, they make certain amount of income. They're probably already not 23 years old. They're maybe in their mid-40s, and so sickness is huge because they have families, they have kids. So there's so much consideration and for the professional employees in the professional firm. So again, I want you to plan that for at least 2 years and build a very strong full-time team. And when I say full-time team here, doesn't mean they coming into your office to work and they are the team working full-time, but they can be anywhere on the globe, right? Other than, I wish they can be in the moon, so COVID-19 could not even survive, but the problem is that we may not be able to survive either if we're on the moon. So to build a strong full-time team, and for large offices, consider rotating them, so each employee maintaining the healthy distance, and implement video team meeting instead of in-person meeting. So often in the past, before COVID-19, and in our office, we have this big training room, and so everybody come in and we meet face-to-face in one room. Okay, and for that, we build a big huge screen. We have nice furnishing. And in fact, we just furnished it right before COVID-19. And what a good way to waste money. But now it is all video team meeting because you need to build that. You can't have all of these people in the room, and it is very dangerous for the virus to spread. Find ways. So with that, because we are remote, then you find ways to create accountability and to get rid of the time tracking. Of course, that's such a good blue sky goals for all the professional firms, but I want you to have that thought. You have that vision, you will get there. With clients, you need to educate clients for the virtual contact needs. And I'll tell you a story about our firm. And we can meet clients virtually many years already. We have the tools. We can meet client virtually. No client want to see us. And some client, they need to come to my office. We literally have to have that physical hug in order to survive for the next tax, for the next year. So it happened, and we practiced that for 20 some years. But now with COVID-19, we don't do that anymore. So we go through video conferencing to review the taxes, to talk about accounting. You know what kind of feedback we have? Client discovered how good that is. Because when we do that, we actually look at the tax return together in front of, I look at it in my screen, they're looking at it in theirs. So they see exactly what I do. They understand exactly what I am implementing. It is such a great way to deliver knowledge in a much solid way, and our client telling us that, oh wow, this is so good. I will do video review every year. I don't think I need to come anymore. Look at that, right? So, and reduce client and employee contact even in the office face-to-face meeting. What do I mean by that? Maybe set up a place where client can sit down and they don't meet you, they meet you on the screen, even though you are in the office. All right? Create office space to accommodate clients who are technologically challenged. So they are coming in and meet on video with you and from their home. So what if your client just don't have the money to invest in the monitor? What if their computer just got destroyed by the toddler or the puppy just peed on it and it's all done? And with all of that, they come into the office and you have a place for them to sit in front of the computer to see you, and you can still talk to them. So those are the things you can do with client. And as a professional company and you implement client communication method, this is what I say: to video instead of to call instead of to text instead of to email instead of to be silent. So to be silent is the worst, and to video is the best. So with that, and you tell your folks that this is what we want to do for our client. Our communication method is video number 1, call number 2, text number 3, and email number 4. To be silent, it is number 5, but it is not allowed. All right. And pull out the lost client list. Make an effort to reconnect. You know what? Right now, there's a lot of professional firms is malfunctioning. And they have those clients who left you. And you had them before. They left you. So now it's time to come back. So open up the lost client list. Reconnect the world. Okay? Develop a new marketing approach, just like Community CPA is doing. When did we become a webinar expert? No way. I think it's really kind of silly to talk to myself and like I have people behind the screen. But the reality is that since the beginning of April, actually since the end of March. We know that this is the only way we can connect with our 9,000 clients. What are we gonna do? And we have to talk to you because we have information for you. You can't see me. I don't even care about the hug from you. I don't really, I'm okay to not have your hug, but I'm not okay for you to not be successful. So I figure out a way to do that. My way of doing that is to be on webinar, and a lot of us are on webinar. Dong, the attorney, was on webinar, and Bo was on webinar, and Steve, they're on Chinese webinar, and then we have Vietnamese language webinar, we have Spanish, and then we have English, of course, English, right? So really, you find a way to do that. I don't know what is your way. I cannot tell you, but you know better. And Brenda knows. Brenda from the cafe, the Folk Cafe in Merhay Mall, she knows to do social media marketing, okay? And practice remote management. This is a key. As a professional firm, and everybody is professional, so really don't need to monitoring anybody what they do with every minute of their time. But remote management is an art. No good answer. I myself is still learning it. And you can, if I do a survey in my own firm to rank where is our remote management, I will be happy if I can get a C. And I'm never an A student, by the way. And my highest score in college at York University was a B, was BBB all the time. I got 1 C. So getting a C, it's not strange to me. I am learning. I am just saying that you are learning too, because this just started. And so I put down this large company, what they're doing for professional firms, because I want you to know that you need to reviving demand. You want to create demand for yourself. For insurance company, of course you can create a demand, and your risk is not even the same. Your customer risk is not the same, and they closed for 2 months. Did you offer your customer for reduction of premium so that they don't have the business for 2 months? Right? Insurance company can do that. Did you offer your customer additional premium to pay because they're driving on the road delivering their food to their customer? Come on, you need to reviving your demand, the demand for your service. Shifting IT technology to restart. Did you already implement touchless charge? Did you already looking at how to not sit in front of the table with your customer face-to-face and exchanging COVID-19 virus so they can mutate to COVID-20, right? And so that is an investment, and investing in recovery. And did you work your things, spending the money to create that safe measure for your customer and for your employee? So professional service company, I'm telling you, you have a bigger responsibility towards to the client than other companies, because we're the one read the books, understand the in and outs. And another thing I want to say, some of the professional service company, we are viewed as an overhead for the business. You know, like the restaurant, they're running so well, they don't need accountant. What do you mean? Accountant charges me, I just add up my numbers and I'll be good. And then I just give those numbers to the tax people so tax return is done. So they can view us as overhead. So fine, you cannot change some people's thinking, but because we are overhead, if we can invent technology so they don't even come to see us, they can just do their books so quickly or pay their taxes so quickly, they don't even need to spend any minute in our office anymore. They can use their iPhone to look at what paycheck we issued. Don't you think they'll be happy because we're saving their overhead time? Right? So if your professional service viewed as overhead, you have a reason to develop private portals and saving clients time. And Saving clients time ultimately means you don't meet. You don't have face-to-face meeting. You are virtual. Idea for construction company. And I can't believe that I actually went over the time. I just look at the time. I'm going to go forward. It is more than an hour then. And a construction company has contractor and employees. And so you want to make sure that whether they're your contractor and your employees, you want to make a stable team. It is really important that when you take on a project, the team member who works in that project doesn't change. Because if you change people all the time, it is not safe for your customer. So that is really a key. And this is where you reopen, you do your business in a new way. This is the new way. So you need to highlight in your bid the effort you would make to keep employees safe and keep your customers safe. So your bid is not just about putting the window on and how much that is. No, your first section of the bid is to how to reduce person-to-person contact. And with every job to map out where and how customer would be involved in physical contact with your worker and with you. And finding ways to inform your customer through videos, through technology. So maybe whether the window was installed properly or not, it's no longer your customer coming over to see, it's a video that you can show, right? And show your job progress to the customer by video. They are innovations coming up and for construction companies to show progress on video with the Google map. Okay, identify work crew member and not changing them. Introduce your work crew members to this customer and getting your job done in one solid time. Don't switch your people from here to there. So really get ready and go in and come out in very short time. So that is the best way to do jobs for your household customer. Because I have a client and who does plumbing work. And so the clients, you think that plumbing work everybody needs, but there are people with plumbing questions, plumbing issues, they don't fix it because they're worried about plumber goes into their house and they get infected with COVID-19. But what if in your advertising of your company and you have a way to articulate how good you are and how safe your employees are? Wouldn't that help? That would help for reopening. And reorganize your price based on your new demand again, and perfect your contractor labor template again, like the spa and the salon, and a great time to buy other clients list, to merge with other people. And the construction company normally comes with jobs already when you buy them, and those are the jobs you can shine your way to manage the work. And ideas for grocery store. Again, employee safety, number one. And it's always gonna stay on top of the list. You have to make sure your cashier is safe and they are clean. They are free from virus, okay? And the plan for full-time. That's the key for reopening. And the inventory again, and really as long as you have merchants for selling, grocery store is considered essential. You're like healthcare workers and you are needed. So you want to make sure that your inventory sources is actually the most key. Maybe it's time for you to get connected directly with the farm. All right, now maybe it is time for you to have that special relationship with certain merchant distributor so that you can do when nobody gets supplies and you get supplies. Okay, what's your price? So be so flexible with your shelf pricing, because if you got merchandise too expensive, you need your shelf pricing to change right away. That is how you're gonna survive. Low price is not the answer. And as much as I personally want to go to a place to buy things lower price, cheap, but I think for you too. And I don't want to break you. If I buy something and you lose money, I don't want to buy that. I want you to make money, and I want all our small business to survive. All right. And same thing. And in your operation, and you really need to know that how to recover your prior crowd, but not in the way that having them all come into your place. Maybe is to open for longer hours. See, I say that because I know Hy-Vee didn't do it, and they had their good reason to not open longer hours. But for small business, that might be a key to survive. I know people who doesn't want to go when there's too many people there. But if you can schedule your evening hours out, people come in, and that would offer a alternative for you to sell more merchandise. Okay, and really that's kind of the ideas I have for each business industry. And I do have a closing thought. And I say to you that the real entrepreneurs are those that convert problems into opportunities. Convert. Literally change. Literally convert problems to opportunities. Be a real entrepreneur. Okay? And one last point to have all of you know, and we do have this Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday English 3 p.m. seminar, and I participate with all of them. Saturday is the one that so far I've been keeping that for myself, for my own voice, and I want to connect with you. I want you to help me to tell other people, and we are here. We are sharing our experience. We don't copy and paste for something you can find on the internet. It is completely community CPA homemade information. And we can homemade good product. You know why? Because we have over 9,000 clients. We have people who devoted in this profession ever since she is only 20 some years old. I have no other expertise. I am merged in accounting, in taxes from Canada to US. And I was born in China, so I care about the Chinese side of, taxes as well. So I'm very well versed with taxes. And I understand taxes in an international way. So that reason, and whatever changes in the tax world, I can relate. I know why the Canadians adopting certain rules, because the US started doing that. I also know why US changed certain tax rate, because Canadian has that tax rate. All right, so that workflow, the business would settle in US instead of in Canada. So with that, and with my interaction with our clients, and I bring you those knowledge, they are good information. They will open your mind. I hope that today I actually brought you some really good point, and you will sit there, think really hard how to implement that. And I want you to be successful. If you are successful, and I am too. And if you hear my seminar later on, and you want to give me a thumb up, and on YouTube, and say you like it, give me comments, and I want to be there for you, and I want to be one of many reasons why you are successful. So register our webinar on our website, and email Catherine for questions. I know we're kind of done with our webinar. I'm 10 minutes over. I apologize, but I hope that it is worth of that time. And I will see you. I know I didn't have time to go into question. I apologize, but I will answer your question by email, and make sure that you registered, so I would see your email and I will send that question back to you. On Tuesday, I talk about managing cash flow with governmental assistance. The reason I say that is because on one of my slides here, I talked about the money that you're getting and you should be getting, and how you should play with that money, use that money in the good way, in the right way, so you can get the benefit, not returning the money. And we're also gonna introduce to you, and by segment, by business segment, hopefully my Tuesday webinar would line up your world again with ideas, then with dollars. I'll talk to you on Tuesday again. Bye-bye.